We are continuing with our lesson on the effects of time on investments. We just finished our question on simple interest, and now we're going to take a look at compound interest. So our question here says, a $1,000 investment earns 2% per year compounded annually over 5 years. And then it wants to know, is it better to double the interest rate or double the time invested? So when we did simple interest, we discovered that it didn't matter. So whether I double the interest rate or whether I double the length of time, I actually got the exact same answer. So this one is a little different because this is not simple interest. This is compound interest. So we're going to see if it makes a difference and whether we get the same value once again, or whether one of them actually works out to be better. So because this is compound interest, we are going to use the compound interest formula, which is A equals P times 1 plus I, close bracket, to the power of N. I'm going to list all my variables down the side. I have A, P, I, and then N. I always leave a little extra space for I because it requires a little bit of work. So I'm going to read through the question, identify what numbers I have, and then figure out where they go. So it says a $1,000 investment. That is our starting amount, also called the principal. So that's P. So it earns 2% per year. So 2% is my interest rate, but remember, we are looking at what happens if I double the interest rate. So I'm going to take 2%, I'm going to multiply it by 2 to get 4%, and I cannot put a percent into my calculation. I need to divide it by 100, since percent means per 100. So 4 divided by 100 gives me 0.04. And then the last piece of information is that it is invested for 5 years. So that means that N, the amount of time, is 5 years. We're earning interest 5 times, once every year. And then A is the one that I don't know. So we're going to take our values, we're going to substitute them into the formula and see what we get. So I get A equals P, we're putting in 1,000 times 1 plus I is my interest rate, that is 0.04, and then to the power of 5. So for this, I am going to start by simplifying the bracket using order of operations. I'm going to add those two numbers together. So I get 1 plus 0.04, which is 1.04, and that is to the power of 5. Now, order of operations says we should do our exponent next, and then we would multiply, and I like to do both of those in the same step just to save myself having to write down any decimals. So I've got 1.04 to the power of 5, and then I'm going to multiply that by 1,000. And I get $1,216.65, but I am going to take a quick peek at the next number. It's a 2. So that means that's going to stay at 65 cents. So it's $1,216.65. So if we double the interest rate at the end of the investment, we should have $1,216.65. Normally I would write a concluding statement for my question, but because we're just comparing the numbers, our concluding statement is actually going to be to answer the question, is it better to double the interest rate or double the time invested? So if you need help with the next calculation, you can join me in the next video.